Oh, let me just share the link so that we can start with the show promptly. Let me just share this. All right, here we go. So that we can start. Okay, wait. Oh, wait. Okay. Hi, good afternoon po sa inyong lahat. Kumusta po kayo? I am Norman, your blogger at normanorman.com, and this is the second episode in season 2 of Pageantry Norms. Alam niyo po, in Miss Universe Philippines, there's so many candidates that even if I want to guest all of them in this program, logistically medyo we could not really do that. Our hands are tied. That's also the reason why the other pageant sites are also taking their share in guesting all the ladies one by one or two by two. Kaya lang ako here with the pageantry norms, I'm not, uh, since we are only aired on Sundays, I could only guess siguro maximum of three or four. But this afternoon, we have three of them with me. So join us on a virtual road trip. Virtual road trip because we will be going from central Luzon to southern Luzon or southern Tagalog region. We will start in what they call the culinary capital of the Philippines in central Luzon, Pampanga. Then we will head to the financial center of the Philippines, which is Makati City. And then we will finish it off with the birth province of our national hero, Dr. Jose Rizal, which also happens to be the resort capital of the Philippines, Laguna. So please join us in the discussion this afternoon. You can fill in your questions for them. We will answer them later, promise. And we will introduce them according to the geographical um, direction of the title of this episode. Our first phenomenal woman this afternoon is representing Pampanga. They call it the culinary capital of the Philippines. I'm not sure really how culinary failed the province is, but I will also let her do the talking on that because we will allow the ladies to um, discuss about their respective provinces or cities first, so that we can give some tourism thrust on their participation in the competition. Friends, please help me welcome Patricia May Pineda Santos. Hello, Patricia.
Hello, Tito Norman. Good afternoon to all your viewers. Hello.
Yeah, please say hi to everyone first, Pat.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to be catching up with all of you here, even though virtually. This is really, really nice. And hello to all my Kabalens. Happy Sunday.
And what is the reason behind your very sultry outfit this afternoon, Pat?
Well, once in a while, a woman must feel her sexiness and beauty, even just for a little bit, with some skin on the shoulders. But just have some fun and
With a
sexy.
spaghetti strap to
Yes,
boot.
it is really
Yeah,
stuff. Yan.
yeah.
But I just love my local. That's why I'm big now.
Yes, Patricia, ang connection mo nakakaloka. Nag-ano talaga, naglalag. But anyway, Pat, can you hear me, Pat? Pat, naririnig mo ba
Ay,
ako, Patricia?
ayan. Good.
Okay.
Yes.
So, as I've said earlier, Pampanga is the culinary capital of the Philippines. Why so? Can you promote the culinary specialties of your province and why people always come in droves to sample the famous dishes of Pampanga?
Well, Pampanga is considered to be the culinary capital of the Philippines because you can find in Pampanga one of the best tasting dishes or the best versions of actually different dishes that you can find somewhere else. But when you taste it here in Pampanga, you will definitely taste that rich Kapampangan culture in that pot of, like, let's say, sinigang. And we all know we're very, very much famous for sisig. And though there are many versions of it all over the country, the difference is when you taste it in Pampanga, it still has that distinct Kapampangan taste. But we're famous for sisig. But I would also like to share with everyone that if you want to taste something different, it would be the so-called betute or fried frog. I don't know, Tito Norman, if you've tried that already.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, how did
Quite,
you find
quite,
it?
quite forcibly, but yes, I did. Because Pat, I grew up in Bulacan. Bulacan is just beside
Mhm.
Pampanga. So going to Pampanga is easier than going to Manila actually. So betute, yes, betute. I've tasted that. Mhm. How do you describe the taste of that? Para kang nagigitara, Patricia. Oo. Parang strums ng gitar ang naririnig ko sa'yo.
Yes.
Ayun. Ayun,
Is
nahuhuli
it clear
kita.
already? I hope so.
Yes, okay. So we're
Yes,
talking
that's
about
clear.
betute.
Yes,
How
I
does
love.
it taste?
For me, it tastes like fried chicken. That's why I love it. Tastes like fried chicken.
Ganon.
Really, really good. Yes, and the kamaru, which are the crickets.
Oh yes, I've tasted that. My God, yes,
How
yes.
was it for you?
It's something. It's not necessarily acquired taste, but it's something that I wouldn't mind tasting from time to time, but not on a
Mhm.
daily basis, of course.
Yes, well, we love it. Kapampangans are that innovative when it comes to cooking. We make dishes out of those stuff like that. And also, one of my favorite Kapampangan dishes, of course, is the sisig. But there's also our version of sinigang. And I don't know if most Kapampangans talk about this, but in Manila, and I've also been based in Manila before, they have sinigang. They have tomato or kamatis with the sinigang. But here we call it sigang puti, where the sinigang is there's a mashed gabi to make it look white, and the taste is richer with the saging ng puso to also make the taste richer. But I think because I've been working with the chefs and restaurateurs of Pampanga for an NGO Lugod Balen, and working closely with them, I realized now, or I learned their secret ingredient. And most people, Tito, would think it would be in the ingredients or in the heirloom recipes. But actually, there's only one secret ingredient, and this remains to be true. Every time that they cook, they make sure that it doesn't stay, or it doesn't navigate away from the real recipe, Kapampangan recipe. Because, diba, in modern times, we tend to deviate and transform it or fusion it with something more, with the other or the Western culture and stuff. But the secret ingredient of the Kapampangans is they stay true to the original recipe, and at the same time, it comes with the heart of a Kapampangan talaga na pag nagluto sila, lutong Kapampangan to, alam na alam mo. And I think that is one of the biggest reasons why we are called the culinary capital of the Philippines. We have stayed true to our recipes and to our ancestors.
Alam ka, no, every time I would go to Pampanga, kain talaga ang hinahabol ko. Even
Yes.
even the longganisang Pampanga. Even the
Yes,
longganisang
Tito.
Pampanga.
Mm.
Yeah, kumbaga
And I'm
parang
just so proud na it's the one of the biggest companies in the Philippines. Can we say it?
it's yes, 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 of course.
Yes,
Pampanga's
Pampanga's
best?
Best. Yeah,
Yes.
is actually led by a woman,
Yes.
Lolita, and we're just so proud of her. And then sometimes when I'm asked also about empowered women, imagine a home cooked meal now dominating the Philippines. So that is what is all
Ito.
about.
Ito tayo. Yan. Parang kumakanta ng Do, Re, Mi
What
muna si Patricia. Do, Re, Mi. Ayun, natutulog siya, nagbabuffer siya. Ayan.
Tito
Ayan naman. Ayan.
pa ba
Ayan na,
ako?
magbabalik na siya.
I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Ayan na, magkabalik siya. Hindi ako, me, pag ganyan, I take it with a grain of salt, para na pagluluto, di ba nagtatapon ng asin sa, hindi ko naman, kasi, alam mo naman ang internet connection dito. Nako, Diyos ko, Lord, Patricia, sa Kumu, siguraduhin mo, ang connection mo is very stable. Kung hindi,
Yes,
magigrill
yes,
ka
no,
talaga doon. Magigrill ka
definitely.
talaga doon ni Casey.
Oo.
Nakakaloka. Okay, Patricia, let
Oo
me
nga
introduce
eh.
first. I will introduce the two other ladies first, and then we will return to you after for our group discussion. All right? Okay. Our second lady, we will leave Pampanga for now. Then we will head to the NCR region, Metro Manila, and to the place that holds a very dear spot in my heart also because I spent a big chunk of my youthful years working in this city, the city that we call the financial center of the Philippines. And it is the city which brightens up every Christmas season. Actually, kahit hindi Christmas season, pero mas special nga lang during Christmas season. Representing Makati City, let us now welcome Ivanna, Kamil, Pacis. Hello, Ivanna.
Hello, Tito Norman. Good afternoon. Hello,
Hello.
everyone.
Yes, as I've said earlier, Ivana, you represent Makati, which I would siguro say one of the richest cities in the Philippines. Ayoko naman sabihin na pinaka-rich na sila talaga ngayon because that is still contestable. Pero it has all the big companies, the tallest buildings, also the best shopping malls. Talagang kumbaga, it's a one-stop city.
Mhm.
You can do everything in
Yes.
Makati. But
Mhm.
instead of me doing the promotion of Makati, tell me something about Makati that a lot of people do not know yet. Yung mga tipong,
I
from your point of view.
mhm, mhm. I think a lot of people have been yun nga what you mentioned dito Norms yung mga shopping malls like the Yellow Triangle, yung mga parks and the busiest areas of Makati, but I think not a lot of people have been to Museo ng Makati and Poblacion. I think I think many of you nadadaanan nyo lang siya along Calayan or J. Rizal, but it's such a nice place if you want to know the heritage of Makati City because hindi nga siya ganong na-expose or nakikwento because we just know yung modernized na version of Makati City, but we haven't seen Makati City nung unang panahon na talahib pa lang siya and hindi pa ganong maraming skyscrapers or tall buildings, yung plain Makati lang. And a fun fact, even my lolo and lola have witnessed Makati City nung hindi pa siya ganitong ka-modernized or ganitong ka-successful of a city, ka-successful of a city. So I feel like doon sa museo ng Makati, marami silang makikitang yun nga, the history of Makati City, what it looked like before, and yung history of different leaders of Makati City na iba-ibang lahi, may Americans, may Spanish, hanggang sa naging Filipino na yung naging leaders of Makati City. So, ayun, Tito Norms, it's when I shot the Beyond the Coastlines video of my city, we went there and we shot a few scenes there and sobrang nakakatuwa because I've only been there a few times, but whenever I do, I try to make sure na I get to learn something from Makati City, yung history of Makati City.
Oh, kasi nga, I remember nga, I watched all the Beyond the Coastlines videos of the MUP ladies. And yung
Yes.
sa iyo nga, syempre, there is a tendency to focus only on the shopping malls,
Yes.
the upscale garden areas, the Makati
Mhm.
Stock Exchange, and the like. It's a good thing that you also feature the parts of Makati that we don't normally associate with Makati. Kasi alam mo namang mga
Yes.
tao ngayon, every time they think of Makati, ang naiisip lang nila is negosyo, shopping mall,
Yes, that's
shopping,
true,
mga ganon.
Tito. Pasyalan
Oo.
area,
Yes.
gimikan
Tapos,
area, 'di ba?
oo, exactly. Tapos, hindi nila alam na pag nagpunta na sila doon sa part ng Makati na malapit sa
Yes,
may Rockwell, yung
yes.
sa may area na yon. Tapos,
And
sa
even the
poblasyon
Guadalupe
na,
ruins, yes, yung
yes,
pinaka-oldest
oo.
church. Yun, naging sikat siya because may mga teleseries who would feature that and shoot some scenes there sa mga teleserye na papanood natin. Pero if you look at it, hindi mo maiisip na nasa modern city siya dahil it's a ruins talaga na church, which is so so beautiful. Kaya ayun, it's something that I would recommend to people na who haven't been there or who haven't visited that part naman of Makati City. That's so different from what we usually see sa Ayala area.
Kaya nga, Ivana, who would have thought na yung part na yon is really part of
Mhm.
Makati pa?
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
even yung Guadalupe Viejo, yung sa may mga
Yes.
Bitogo, yung
Mhm,
part na yon,
mhm.
hindi mo iisipin na part ng Makati siya, but it's part of Makati. And then,
Mhm, mhm.
tapos kapag yung part na sa kabilang side na medyo nagbo-blur na yung Makati and Pasay, yung nagkakaroon na ng doon na
Mhm.
yung mga
Yung
evangelista
borders, yes,
o yung mga
yes.
border. Doon naman
Mhm,
maraming mga kainan naman doon ng mga hidden
mhm.
gems. Kaya
Yes, yes. Madami. Yun nga,
kumbaga,
mm.
oo,
Tito
yes, yes.
Norman, kumbaga our city is a fusion of different cultures, different races. Kaya sa Makati City, maraming Japanese restaurants, Korean restaurants. Kaya I can't really say if people ask me anong specialty ng Makati, I can't really pinpoint yung isa lang because it's a fusion of a lot of different cuisines, different cultures, different backgrounds, diba? It's a place where everyone can celebrate your own individualities. Kaya nakakatuwa every time, kunyari may mga gimmickan area, iba-ibang lahi yung mga nandun, but they're all having fun, telling their stories, ganyan.
Kasi nga, if you have your own restaurant or ikaw nag-business ng ganon, pag nag-open ka na sa Makati, parang you're somehow made already. Kasi may
Yes.
presence ka na
Mm-hmm.
sa Makati. Unlike siguro in other cities na pag start sila ng business doon, kapag wala ka sa Makati, parang hindi ka pa nag-arrive, kung so to
Yes.
speak. Parang,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
may Makati branch ba kayo? Tapos sabihin mo,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
soon to, soon, pero somehow hindi pa. Now, alam mo, hindi natin may iwasan magkatanong tungkol sa mga pandemic-related things, pero ayoko naman talaga mag-focus sa mga pandemic things. Pero,
Mm-hmm.
when was the last time that you've been to Ayala Avenue?
Yesterday, Tito Norms, because we shot a sponsored campaign for Miss Universe Philippines. We shot it sa Ayala Triangle. Luckily, my LG was able to help me connect to Ayala and give us a permit for the shoot yesterday. So after siguro after 6-7 months or after nung Beyond the Coastlines na shoot namin, that was the last time I've been there. And nakakatuwa, Tito Norms, kasi since it's an open space, you're allowed to go jogging, biking, may mga nag-zumba doon, may mga nagsasayawan, ganyan, exercise. So, it's a safe area since yun nga, it's an open space. So, nakakatuwa kasi na-miss ko and especially malapit na mag Christmas, yung dancing lights, hopefully mangyari pa rin siya kahit we're in the middle of a pandemic. Sana ituloy pa rin ng LGU yung dancing lights na celebration annually because doon natin talaga mafe-feel yung spirit of Christmas kahit na mga taga-ibang cities inaabangan yun sa Makati City every time they launch the Ayala Dancing Lights.
Oo. Kasi sabi ko nga kanina, before I introduce you, Ivana, Makati holds a special place in my heart because Makati is where I spent 2 decades of my life working talaga. Diyan ako
Mm-hmm.
naka-base. So, yung Christmas lights na yun along Ayala Avenue, I think I think it will still be a go this year. Siguro may strict schedule na lang talaga ng on and
Yes.
off.
I think
Kasi
so.
ano
Yes.
naman yan it can be operated by one or two people pag on and off
Mm-hmm.
doon. And it will still reflect the Christmas spirit talaga. Dahil kilala ng Makati for that. Ang pangit naman kung biglang mawawala. Hindi
Mm-hmm.
para
Yes,
lang
Tito.
pinakisamahan ng pandemya talaga. Lumungkot ng Ayala. Samantalang pag pumunta ka naman sa Greenbelt tsaka sa Glorieta, ang liwa-liwanag palagi. O hindi
Mm-mm.
ba? Oo. Pero hindi ka ba nape-pressure somehow, Ivana, that yun nga, you are representing uh, one of the cities in the, well, the city in the Philippines that some other cities would look up to. Siyempre,
Mm-mm.
para bang, ano yan eh, parang as financial center of the Philippines, parang iba ang tingin nila sa Makati. Meron bang
Mm-mm. Yes, I
konting pressure
understand.
on that part sa'yo?
Definitely, Tito Norms. I realized na I wasn't just, because I used to be Miss Pembo, yung barangay ko ngayon sa Pembo, when I was only 14 years old. And then I became Miss Makati 2014 when I was 18 years old. And with that, it gave me the opportunity to represent Makati City, my hometown, where I was born and lived my whole life, to the national pageant scene. So it's really an honor, Tito Norms. And yung pressure, yes, there is some pressure because yun nga, I'm representing the city itself, and at some point meron ding pride and honor because I'm a proud product of a Makati Public School, which alam naman natin lahat na the Makati Public Schools really offer quality education. So at some point, yes, I am carrying yung the social version of Makati City, but at the same time I'm also a batang Makati na galing ako sa public school ng Makati, and I've learned what it's like to experience really the quality of life here. So it's also something that I'm representing aside from, the lifestyle of Makati City itself.
Kaya nga, dapat nga yata ang tawag sa Makati, hindi lang Financial Center of the Philippines. Dapat Ayuda Center of the Philippines din. Hindi ba?
Yes, pwede
Kasi I
dito,
would,
Norms.
I wanted to be a resident of Makati also dahil alam ko makakakuha ko on time ng ayuda. Hindi ko naman sinasabi na uulanin
Yes.
ka ng ayuda, but to get it
Mm-mm.
on time. Kasi siyempre, pag kunyari, darating sa yung ayuda, nagkabaon-baon ka na sa utang, yung pambabayad mo, kulang pa yung ayuda mo. Ang
Mm-mm.
hirap-hirap kapag ganoon, hindi ba? Nakakaloka lang. Pero alam mo mamaya, in our second round of discussion, Ivana, we will talk about your first foray into national pageantry. Alam ko naman yon at alam din naman ng mga
Mm-mm.
viewers natin yon kung saan nakasama mo si Catriona Gray. But that's for later.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
because I
Tito
will
Norm.
introduce first our third and final guest for this afternoon para makumpleto natin ang road trip natin. And magpapakarga lang po ako ng gasolina bago po tayo tumuloy sa susunod na destinasyon. Our third guest this afternoon comes from a place that is not exactly far from where I live in the south of Metro Manila. And this place also holds a special place in my heart because this province, I always take part in their Anilag Festival because of the judging for Ginood Binibining Laguna for a few years now. And I'm always happy kapag nasa Laguna ako because not only because of the buko pie, and but because of the people themselves. So our third guest this afternoon is a proud hotelier. Hotelier, yes. And she is Miss Universe Philippines Laguna. Friends, let's welcome Joanne de la Torre Flores. Hello, Joanne.
Mabuhay, Tito Norman. Magandang hapon sa
Mabuhay!
lahat ng
Yeah.
mga nanonood dyan sa atin.
Yes, Joanne.
Mabuhay.
Please say hi to your fellow Lagunenses.
Mabuhay mga kapwa Lagunense ko. Maraming salamat sa panonood dito sa amin. So, at gayon din sa pagsuporta sa akin sa aking Miss Universe Philippines journey. Magandang hapon at kumusta kayong lahat?
Oh, alam mo naman, every time I talk about Laguna, hindi ako nagkukulang sa mga bits and pieces of information because, yun nga, because I live in the south of Manila, so Laguna is not exactly far. Kumbaga, mag-guest next lang ako, ayan, nasa Laguna na ako. Now, here's my question to you. Ang Tourism Trust, I won't ask you to alphabetically recite all the resorts in Laguna. Of course, that would be too impossible. But
Dahil napakarami nun, Tita
oo,
Norman.
yeah.
Yes.
Please, tell our viewers how Laguna arrive at yung tagline na resort capital of the Philippines sila. Ang probinsya niyo pala.
Well, yes, Tita Norman, we became the resort capital of the Philippines because definitely we have so many resorts here in our province, especially in the Calamba and Laguna area. It's one of the main businesses that a lot of our people are are having because of the blessed gift from our nature coming from the Mount Makiling. Because with the Mount Makiling, Tita Norman, if you go to Calamba and Las Bañas, the water there is somehow hotter compared to the normal temperature of it. So it really gives that extra relaxation and to our body when we dip in the water. So a lot of people now are building and opening some resorts or managing or operating resorts to share that kind of experience that we here in Laguna are experiencing.
Ikaw ba, Joanne, when was the last time ka na nag-hot
Yes.
springs? When was the last time ka nakapag-hot
Even
springs?
actually, Tito Norman, last year pa, during our team building activity with my former company. Kasi yun, medyo busy sa work. And then, of course, this year, the pandemic happened. So, unfortunately, many of our resort owners and operators are currently shut down or temporarily closed because we cannot operate. But happily, we are slowly coming back in the tourism operation because things are slowly getting better now, and at the same time, they are already preparing to comply with the new requirements of the Department of Tourism for them to operate.
Oo. Nasabi mo na rin lang naman yung former job. Are you referring to the hotel that you worked with, Joanne? Yung sa, di ba you
Yes,
worked
Tita
with,
Norman.
of
Ano ba
course we can
now?
mention it.
Until here.
Yes, you worked with Green Sun before, right? Are you still with them or ano, because of,
Yes, Tita Norman.
okay. Bale, your work with them is
Well,
in,
actually, Tita Norman,
yes. Please continue, Joanne.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Please continue. Please continue.
Yes. I used to be part of the Green Sun family. Green Sun is a hotel and event space in Makati. I worked there for 7 years, but unfortunately, this year I had to decide to leave the company because somehow I really wanted to focus on my Miss Universe Philippines journey. I worked there, I started there as a management trainee, and for 7 years, I was able to climb up the ladder of my career and became a director of operations, even at such a young age.
My God, what age were you when you got the appointment as Director of Operations of Green Sun, Joanne?
Yes, Tita Norman.
24? 24 ka ba? But
I
when, no,
became
when you
director of.
got, yes.
Mhm.
How young
Tita
were you?
Norman, I started there working right after graduation when I was just
Yes.
20. I started there as
Mhm.
management trainee, and then after 2 years, I became already a manager. I'm very thankful and grateful to the owners for trusting me that position, even at such a young age ako and being a woman. And then I started becoming a director when I was already 20, yeah, 24. I started first as an assistant director of sales. Then for 2 years, I hold the position of director of sales. And then actually recently lang ako naging director of operations just last year, last quarter of last year. But yun na po, early this year, since I joined Miss Universe Philippines and I really wanted to pursue this one dream of mine and give my 100% effort and focus on it, I decided to leave the company po.
Yeah. Because I know that Green Sun is very popular in terms of big events, fashion
Yes, Tita
shows, and the like, di
Norman.
ba? Familiar
Yes,
ako dyan.
yes, because we are the only venue here in the Philippines that has that 360 video projection on wall. So if you want like a wedding that as if you are in Bali or in Greece, we can make that happen. But if you want to even a birthday party like underwater or in the outer space, we can make that happen with that technology. And our company really takes pride on that technology po.
Oo, kasi alam ko ano na nga yan eh. Every time they mention the word Green Sun or the name of the hotel, the first thing that comes to mind would be the 360-degree um, hall that has yung mga video wall. It literally wraps the entire venue. Kaya the minute na mag-flash na yung screen, it can transport you to a different place very
Oo.
easily. Di
Correct.
ba?
One of the
Oo.
biggest events that we had there was like a wedding, wherein their setup was a tour around the world. Imagine that you had a
Oh.
wedding wherein when you arrived, you were just in Hong Kong, and then the second part of the wedding, you are already in Europe, and then you are in Brazil, and then you end up back here in Manila. So it was really definitely one of a kind venue.
Oo. Ang ganda nung flexibility kasi eh. You can really create different inspiring themes for any event. Kaya nga pati sa fashion shows din, ano din, click na click palagi yan because the space is big.
Yes.
At malamig sa loob. Malamig sa loob
Even
kung ano
Norman,
yun.
I even know up to now how many air cons we have in that venue.
Kita
But
mo
I won't
nga.
share it to you because
Yeah.
namin yun.
And at the same time, yung accommodations nyo are not exactly, but very reasonable. Very reasonable ang
Thank
pricing
you,
yung
Tita Norma.
accommodations din. Kaya it's not hard for different events to use yung 360 nyo doon because kahit nagkapati accommodations gamitin nila, hindi rin masakit sa bulsa, so to speak, hindi ba?
Thank you, Tita Norma. And I'm
Oh,
very proud that I was one of the pioneers of that amazing place. And I've spent 7 years of my life there because I really learned and grew a lot from all the experiences that I had in there.
oh. Akala mo wala akong alam sa Green Sun, ha? Diyos ko,
Tita
Lord.
Norman, I think I saw you one or two times there in one of our events.
Yes,
Pero
coverage
at that time,
yun.
medyo ano pa ako, medyo nahihiya pa ako lumapit. And of course, this is Tita Norman.
Nakakaloka naman yung babaeng yan. Eh sa tangkad mo ba naman noon, di makikita at makikita ka because your head will always be above the rest, so to speak. Oh, okay,
Medyo nga po.
yun. So, before we head to our group discussion, let me ask this question. Um, how did it come na you were chosen to represent Laguna in Miss Universe Philippines? How did the opportunity arrive? Paano
Well, actually,
sa'yo? Yeah. Yes.
uh-huh.
Yes, Joanne.
Well, actually, Tita Norman, I I filed my application on my own. My accredited partner,
Oh,
Kuya
okay.
Chico, is Diva. He's one of the well-known
Chico,
designers
yes.
here in San
Of
Pablo.
course. Diyos ko,
In
Lord.
San
Oo.
Pablo City, and he's the accredited partner na po. So actually, we
Oo.
haven't met
Shout out to Chico and
before. Hi,
Siva. Yes.
Kuya. We haven't met
Yes.
before, but we somehow knew each other. So Miss Universe Philippines came, and then I applied on my own during their open application for everyone. And then during that application, I mentioned to the organization that I wanted to represent Laguna, and then they said that they have an accredited partner in Laguna. So if I really wanted to represent Laguna, I have somehow to get the support and of course the support of the accredited partner. So that's the time that we I set an appointment with Kuya Chico, and I was very happy and very thankful that when Kuya Chico and I met, he said that he wanted to support me to represent our beloved province in the first ever Miss Universe Philippines po.
Oo. The reason why I asked that question, Joanne, because alam mo naman, ang daming mga Lagunense, mga beauty queens. Ang gaganda talaga
Yes,
ng mga
yes,
Lagunense.
Tito.
So, of course, syempre, when you filed that application with MUP on your own, it was also a risk. Kasi syempre, if-forward ka nila as accredited partner. Now,
Mm-mm.
knowing Chico napapaligiran palagi ng mga gandang babae yan eh. So, ibig
Oo,
sabihin,
Kuya.
it's very possible na baka may napupusuan na rin siya before kayo nagkausap. Pero fortunately, it somehow became a successful uh, thing between the two of you. Kaya ikaw pa rin talaga ang Miss Universe Philippines Laguna, hindi ba?
Yes, Peter Norman. I'm so happy that Kuya Chico somehow saw that spark in me, and at the same time, my passion and my dedication and my strong will to really represent Laguna for Miss Universe Philippines. And
Oh,
definitely,
oh,
I am doing my best to make sure that he won't regret that that
yeah!
choice that he made. His
Kasi
full trust he gave on me.
imagine mo na lang, Joanne, sa winners pa lang ng annual na Binibining Laguna, Ginoon Binibining Laguna, pwedeng-pwede na silang pumili doon, hindi ba?
Peter
Pero,
Norman.
ayan, pero wala namang hotelier doon. Oh, wala, siyempre, kumbaga, may special quality because may ano ka na, kumbaga, alam mo naman sa mga pageants ngayon, national pageants natin ngayon, Joanne, we give an extra premium na rin on quote-unquote maturity. Kaya nga, kita mo yung mga nagiging beauty queens natin ngayon are almost all of them are approaching their mid-20s. Kasi yun yung
Mm-hmm.
time na nakakapag-ipunan sila ng experiences and wisdom to be able to handle heavier responsibilities better. Hindi ba?
Mm. Yes.
Nakakaloka. Oo. And with
Totoo
that,
din.
bubuin.
Tita Norman.
Oo. Bubuin na natin ang frame. Gerard, ano na, kumpleto na kami. Dapat kumpleto si Ricardo's na sana kaming apat because I will go back to Patricia. Patricia, ang yung connection ha. Pag yung connection na yan, pag
Tita,
yan,
move ko na ang table. Sana naman.
pag yan ang lumabas sa'yo sa Kumu sa Wednesday next week, ewan ko na lang.
No,
Oh,
Tita, pray for my kumu.
to. Ito ang question ko sa iyo, Patricia. Because parang somehow related din sa question ko with Joanne. Pampanga is also known for a lot of beauty queens. The most popular of which would be Melanie Marquez, si Abigail Arenas. Kumbaga, pag sinabi mong beauty queens, Pampanga is one of the provinces na naiisip agad nila ay, naku, hindi ba uubusan ng magaganda dyan? Kumbaga, parang they have, parang, kumbaga maraming overruns ng mga kagandahan dyan sa Pampanga. Sa'yo, how did the opportunity to represent Pampanga landed on your lap?
This is actually a very cute story because the accredited well, I'll be
Part.
honest, I did my research sort of because I was reaching na nga Tito the one you mentioned were the middle age or mid-20s age. So I checked this camp, and then this certain camp was just at that time accepting until 25. So I gave up on the idea already because I was past 25 then. I was 26. So, okay, I said, it isn't for me. But then, a friend of mine who had been pushing me to join sent me a link on Instagram about the screening for Miss Universe of the accredited partner. And I don't really know any one of them personally, the accredited partner, the head, and the team. So, what I did was, I reached out to my sister's handler because my sister was the contesera sort of talaga. So, siya talaga yung contesera. So, siya yung may kilala sa people. So, I messaged the handler and then I seeked for advice if it was the right time and with my age also and everything. And then she said, okay, go push for it. So, I messaged them on Instagram. It was all through Instagram. I messaged them and I did my screening with the AP. I did the whole interview thing and everything. And I was just so happy that they were very, very much understanding to my schedule as a flight attendant. So we worked on my schedule and we went around it. And then when I passed the screening of my AP, that's when we all went to Manila. Their chosen candidates. We all went to Manila and then we also did their screening for Miss Universe Philippines organization.
Ibig sabihin talagang it's meant for you because kung hindi ka naman nag-message sa Instagram noon, hindi rin naman mangyayari. Kung hindi ka naman naglakas loob na sabihin sa kapatid mong Pontesera, hindi ka niya maiko-connect sa mga right people. Hindi ba? Tapos lumilipad ka pa palagi. Tapos, throughout the pandemic, alam ko,
Yes, true, Tito.
nagtayo ka ng battalion of army mo, mga sundalo ang kasama mo and everything. Pag ano ka pa talaga, para ka bang rose among the thorns.
Mhm.
Ano ba yung nangyari doon? Ba't ka ba mga
Hi, that's
sunda-sunda?
Commander Felix.
O
Tita kasi ako, outreach organizer na po ako before the pageant pa. I've been doing it for years because I have, my parents are parang members sila where they do the social service quarterly every year. So I'm part of that. But yung sa Armed Forces of the Philippines, it happened because this pandemic, aside from my independent outreach programs and my own NGO, Project Millennials, I joined Lugod Balan. And Lugod Balan teamed up with the Armed Forces of the Philippines in going up in the mountains because natutunan ko dito, when we want to do outreach programs pala in the mountains, it is best that we do it also with the Armed Forces of the Philippines so that they can help you and they can also help you with the workload and the logistics and everything else. So it's really helping each other, becoming the bridge and linking bridges so that we could pull off that one project. And now with Project Millennials PH, my own NGO, we've also been working with the armed forces of the Philippines. And the enlightened ako, Tito, because I learned that the AFP are not just about fighting in wars and battles and holding guns, because with that full uniform and the combat boots and the guns, but you would see them holding sardines or bags of rice to hand out to the people. So it's a really, really enlightening experience. And I'm very, very much thankful for the AFP for the warm assistance and welcome.
hindi ka ba naman na-inspire sa mga sundalo during your time with them? O hindi naman agad love life ang tinatanong ko, nakakaloka. Na-inspire to
I
do
don't know
more.
if I'm allowed to speak about this already, but I think I can. I've been working on the schedule to apply for reservist. I've asked them already about it, and they asked also if I was interested, and I said I'm very much am. I just have to work on the schedule.
Ay, nakakaloka.
Yes, for
Magiging ano
army. That's
siya, magiging private
maganda.
Benjamin siya. Private Patricia. Nakakaloka. Magiging ano siya, unkabogable. The next time I see you, sasaludo na ako. Oh, hindi ba? Oh, hindi ba? Salute na. Now, how about you, Ivanna? I'm sure yung pagkapili mo as the Makati representative to MUP was relatively more smooth siguro dahil you've been part of Miss Makati, you were a Miss Makati.
Mhm.
Pero yung selection mo ba, was it an automatic thing or may pinagpilian din ng mga other aspirants?
Actually, it was an automatic thing then, Tito Norms. What happened was, there was a friend of mine who is also from Miss Universe, the same person who encouraged me to join Miss World Philippines, which was my very first national pageant. And nung time na yon, it was February, wala pang representative ang Makati City and Miss Universe Philippines. And I think hindi din common na there's a Makati City candidate in the national pageant scene. So hindi siya ganun ka-usual. So he asked me if I'm willing to join, kung ready ba ako and all. And then, ayun, I said yes. And then the next day, it was the final screening. And then the day after, yun na yung aming press presentation. So everything happened so fast. Kaya, ayun, I'm so blessed kasi at first, I was really half-hearted if I was really ready to join because it's been a while, diba, Tito Norm? 2016 yung Miss World Philippines.
Yes,
So
yes.
after 4 years, I've always been thinking na sige, before I would say na sige sa 2018 sali ako and then it won't happen and then sige next year na lang ganyan. So I was always kumbaga I was trying to delay
Always
my
delay it, yes.
yes, I would always delay it because of a lot of issues, personal issues, Tito Norms. But I think nung tinawagan ako ng friend kong yon, hi Jack, nanonood siya ngayon, it was the same call that he did during Miss World Philippines. Ganun din. As in, tinawagan niya lang ako randomly na, do you want to join? Ganyan. And it was the same thing that happened nung February. And then I said yes. So, sabi ko, ito na naman tayo. Ganyan. Parang very impulse. But then kumbaga something good came out of it. Katulad nga ng Miss World. So, ayun, I'm really happy that I'm back again. Like what I always say, I really needed to reintroduce myself again in the industry because it's been a long time. And I'm happy to be back and to represent Makati City again.
Okay, Ivana, ito may question ako, tailor-made to para sa iyo. Kasi in your very first national pageant, you already landed second princess. So technically parang second runner-up 'yon. So kumbaga there is this parang want or motivation to surpass the achievement that
Mm-hmm.
you had with Miss World Philippines. Does that pressure you? Kasi ito very applicable sa iyo dahil if I were in your place, I'd be pressured to really
Mm-hmm. Yes, Tito
surpass.
Norm.
Yes. What's your take on that?
Yes. Kasi when I joined Miss World Philippines, I was only 19 years old. I think I was 20 when we were coronated. And it was nung time na yun kasi Tito Norms, I was still young. I was still new to the national pageant scene, so I didn't had enough training and experience at that time, and I was still immature. Kumbaga, my whole being as a woman was still immature. So I told myself na if I would join another national pageant again, I want to really work harder and I really want to prepare for it kasi ayoko na ng hindi ba it's a negative thing to say, but I just don't want to land a runner up. Parang I want the crown already if I would join again. That's what I told myself. Kaya na prolong yung pag-join ko ulit ng pageant was because I was kind of conditioning myself na dapat next pageant mo, may corona ka nang iuuwi na hindi lang runner up. Although I would be happy, I would be grateful if ever I'd land sa top 5 sa Miss Universe Philippines, but my eyes really is in the crown na I never had that kind of motivation when I was joining Miss World Philippines because of course si Catriona nung time pa lang ng screening parang nasa isip ko she will win. Sa kanya na yung corona. And she was really deserving of the crown. So I told myself, kahit runner-up lang niya ako, it would be an honor. Ganun yung mindset ko before. But then I think for the past few years, it also equipped me to be more mature and to really prepare myself, to condition myself mentally, spiritually, and physically for a new pageant for Miss Universe Philippines, especially that it's the very first Miss Universe Philippines.
Oo, hindi ba? Talagang pressure yun. Biro mo, corona na talaga ang gusto mo. Biro mo,
Yes.
samantala, my God, one crown, 50 phenomenal women. Tapos ang
Mhm.
mananalo, yung 51st phenomenal woman ang mananalo dito. Nakakaloka.
Yes.
Now, eto na tayo. Mag-start na tayo with the common questions that the three of you will answer. Okay? So, since umiikot lang tayo, parang caterpillar. Okay, babalik na naman tayo kay Joanne. Kasi nag-ikot tayo eh. Okay, Joanne, the question is this actually, kasi susunod na question, si Patricia naman na mauuna, and then yung third question, si Ivanna. So umiikot lang yan, pero tatlo kami yung sasagot palagi. My first question is this, para alam na rin ni Patricia at ni Ivanna. What is that one major problem of your city or province that you want to vanish in an instant? Yung talagang mawala na lang. Matutulog ka, pagising mo, wala na. Oo, and how can you help in that if you become Miss Universe Philippines, Joanne? Okay?
Well, ito naman, first I would like to say that I have always believed that things exist and happen for a reason, good or bad, because we learn and grow from it. But if there's one thing that I would like to banish from our city and inside, as much as I want to say COVID now, but people are slowly already adapting to COVID, I would like to eradicate instead the drug problem. Because we all know that drugs not only destroy a person's life, but even their family's life, and even worse, the community or the people around them. So if I will be given the chance to eradicate something in our city, that will be the problem with drugs. And if I will be the Miss Universe Philippines 2020, I would like to help in eradicating that problem through education. Because for me, with education, people get to know more of what are the problems or how this problem affects the lives of people, of their own lives, and the people around them.
Alam mo, agree ako sa iyo, Joanne, because if I were from Laguna at tatanungin ako ng question na ganyan, that is the same problem that I would want to eradicate. Drug is drug has always been a problem in Laguna, and it's something that kailangan magawan talaga ng paraan, hindi
Yes,
ba?
yes, Tito. And actually,
Oo.
it's not just Laguna. I'm not saying na
Yes.
napakaraming job here in Laguna. Not really, because the government, our government, city, provincial government are really doing their best effort to eliminate this problem or to at least lessen and hopefully in the future mawala na talaga siya totally. But given that chance, that moment where I'll be given the chance to eradicate all at the same time at once, it will be really that one.
Oo. Kasi nga, alam mo, ang laki-laki kasi ng Laguna. Oo. Para din lang Pampanga. Pupunta na natin si Patricia. Patricia, you answered that question.
Okay.
Same
Well,
question.
Tito, if there's one major problem, particularly happening in my city or province, that I would want to vanish in an instant, it would be the gradual death or gradual dying of the Kapampangan language. And, I've always said that we or us Kapampangan stay true to our culture, our beliefs, and our traditions. But I believe that in passing cultures and traditions to the younger generation, we must also pass on the knowledge and the practice of speaking Kapampangan language wherever we are, even if we're not in Pampanga, and most especially when we're in Pampanga, because this language, this Kapampangan language, when we lose it totally, it's happening right now. I'd be honest about it. The death of this language will be the death of the culture of the Kapampangans, because we have passed on generations. Um, Cultures have been passed, traditions have been passed, and it is because our ancestors were able to communicate through this language. And if we lose it, we are losing a big part of ourselves. And I think, as a Miss Universe Philippines winner eventually, I would like to advocate for this by speaking the language more and ensuring or advocating for the people in Pampanga or the Kapampangans to speak to the younger generation in Kapampangan, because what I always say to my kabalens, pakamalan tayo po nga manus is one, because it's what we have. Let us love language, because this language is us.
Oh, kasi alam mo, correct me if I'm wrong, Patricia, no? Parang feeling ko dyan is that yung mga older generation, when they speak in Kapampangan to the younger ones, yung reaction na nakukuha nila from the younger ones, parang, ha? What are you saying? Ba't mo ako kinakausap ng ganyan? Pag naman yung mga younger generations would be required to speak in Kapampangan, sabihin na, ay, ang baduy-baduy naman yan. I can't. My friends won't understand me. Parang there's a push and pull of parang hesitation to really um, make sure that the Kapampangan dialect stays, hindi ba?
Yes. The thing is, Tito, the Pampanga is situated in the heart of Central Luzon and very much near Manila, which very much near NCR. So the thing is, the people are easily adapts to the culture and the beliefs and traditions of these nearby cities and provinces. But don't get me wrong, Tito. As Kapampangans, we have stayed true to the core. As I've said about the culinary being the culinary capital. But the thing is, I want to advocate that part of staying true to your culture and true to the Kapampangan roots is also speaking the language, because I think the youth, as again, are easily influenced on the language that they hear on social media, and I think it's the same problem that we are facing with the youth having the hard time to speak fluent Filipino as well compared to fluent English. And I think now is the right time to act more on this. And let's start that by actually speaking our own language as well, especially when addressing to our families, our friends, and now to larger groups as well.
O hindi ba? Maayo pa benging kekongan. Nanong buri mo?
Kaya pakamalan tayo po yung kakatamong amano si Swan Kabalen. Kaluguran na
No,
kayo.
because my maternal grandmother actually is from Mexico, Pampanga. So somehow we get to hear her talking in Kapampangan every time we see each other. So you pick up words. Kaya lang, I was brought up in Bulacan na talaga. Kaya yung Filipino ko is sobrang lalim. There are some words
Ano,
that I do not use normally dahil hindi ako maintindihan ng mga tao. Like if I ask, I will ask Ivanna, a deep Tagalog. If I ask you, Ivanna, meron ka bang swalok dyan? What will you answer? Meron ka bang swalok dyan? Anong isasagot
Swalok.
mo? Yes, sige nga. Okay, naintindihan
Tabo.
mo ba? No, nakakaloka. Tabo talaga ang naisip.
Pangsalok. Sounds like pangsalok.
No, swalok is actually, hindi ba, pag kunyari bumibili ka ng pandesal or ng tuyo, hindi ba yung mga supot na ginagamit are old newspapers that have been made into parang supot na nilalagyan, no?
Yes.
So, yun ang swalok.
Ah,
Swalok. Oh, ito mas madali. Ito mas madali. Magkano laman ng portamoneda mo?
Maganda mo na.
Magkano laman ng portamoneda
Wallet?
mo?
wallet.
Napaka-giveaway naman nun kasi may Castilian influence eh. Portamoneda eh. Nakakaloka naman talaga. Oh. Ibig sabihin, ikaw ba, Ivanna, kasi you represent Makati, batang Makati ka. What is the identity talaga of a Makati youth? You're still part of the youth. What is the identity of a Makati youth like you? Kasi like si Patricia, sabi nga niya, problema is sa Kapampangan, nawawala na. Tapos, ito naman si John, sabi niya, yung drug problem sa Laguna, kailangan ma-eradicate na. Eh yung Makati, mga batang Makati like you, what is so special about someone who was brought up and raised in Makati?
Like what I said earlier, Tito Norms, I'm a product of a public school in Makati City, and we all know yung quality of education that Makati City Public School has, diba? Even ako nung time ko when I was still studying nung high school, I have a lot of classmates na hindi naman taga Makati City but chose or opted to go to Makati City because libre lahat, libre school supplies, yung school uniforms and everything, as in free education, free and quality education. And coming from a private school, I was transferred from a public school in Makati. Nakita ko yung difference, and I realized na it was doon ako personally na-hone yung dreams ko, yung goals ko, what I really wanted to be in the future, because we were given this freedom to really know who we are as a person, as an individual. Because back in high school, I was also a part of our student government, and no, siguro if I wasn't kung hindi ko na experience na to be transferred sa public school ng Makati City, I wouldn't even experience that, as well as beauty pageant. Sa beauty pageant ng sa Makati City ako unang nag-start sa high school ko, nag-start sumali ng beauty pageant when I was 13 years old. So I think it was a blessing in disguise somehow na I got transferred to a public school of Makati City. And yun nga, for me kasi, diba, kahit nga yun nga, hindi ka from Makati City, if you think of our city, it's a city of dreams, kumbaga. It's the place where you can fulfill your dreams, whichever career path you chose. Kaya yun yung asset of Makati. I think it's the people itself, whether or not you are from Makati or you just work there. I think alam ni Joanne to. She could understand also. So ayun, Tito Norms. And something then na I want to answer the question, siguro yung kung ano man yung gusto kong eliminate, it has to be the crazy traffic in Makati City. Feeling ko makaka-relate din si Joanne. The sobrang traffic ng Makati, kahit sa poblasyon area, sa Ayala, sa Forbes. Nako, grabe ang lala ng traffic. And sadly, it also resulted to very, very bad air pollution. Kaya I would want to encourage everyone na if they can walk as much as they can, mag-bicycle, mag-scooter, marami ng bike lanes all over Makati, and even to study yun nga yung ginagawang subway, because we also need to level up the commute system here in the Philippines. Kaya excited din ako dun sa subway na sana is matuloy na talaga yung construction, because hindi lang Makatizens ang makaka-benefit. A lot of people na surrounded by Makati City will also be benefited by the subway itself.
Nakakaloka lang because when I was working in Makati, I walked from the Makati Fire Station hanggang sa area ng Hotel Intercontinental every day, almost every day. Kita mo yung lakad na nagagawa
Wow!
na yon. That's the reason why my leg muscles ko, kaiingitan ng maraming mga lalaking nag-workout na may chicken legs. Because my leg muscles are very, talaga, malaman ang ko, kalalakad yan because I'm so used to walking. Okay, so
Yes,
nasagot
yes.
na nyo yung first question. Ngayon, second question tayo, kay Patricia naman tayo mag-start ngayon. Okay, the second question is, if you knew last January what would happen to us from March till now, what would be the last things that you would do in the old normal?
Tito, practically speaking, and I think everyone can relate to this. On the practical side, it would be to have saved more for myself, for my family as well. Now that I'm in the aviation industry, has been to a pause and everything that we are going through right now. I would have saved more, not for myself, but for my family as well. But at the same time, one other thing that I would have done, because not I don't know if everyone knows this, but Feb 12 or Feb 11, I did my independent outreach program at Children's Home or at Munting Tahanan ng Nazareth, and it houses children who are mentally challenged or differently abled. And if I knew that we will be put on quarantine or lockdown from March, I would have hugged them a little tighter, and in my own way and in the way that they can, I would have explained to them for them to understand that in the coming months, they will have no visitors, they will have no parties, they will not be, I'm singing, I will not be
What?
able to hug them tight anymore because it's the pandemic. Because last July, I visited them again to drop some goods together with the Project Millennials partners. And they were waving their hands this way, but I could not hug them. They cannot understand. There's a confusion in their eyes since, as I've said, they're mentally challenged and differently abled. So they do not understand why I cannot go near them, why we can't be dancing just like the old times, and why we can't be singing. And sadly, I wasn't able to explain that to them. No one has prepared them for it. And also, take note, these are also orphans. So they only have two staff they consider as parents there. And I have not prepared. Those are angels also at Children's Home for Eucharistic Love and Kindness to children who have been physically abused. And anyway, so I wasn't able to prepare them mentally for what's to come. And if this is hard for me mentally right now, what is happening? What more for those children who do not understand why they don't have visitors, why they can't receive hugs and kisses anymore, and they can't be dancing and singing with us anymore. And yeah, I think that's
Uh,
the one thing that I
yeah,
would have done.
I agree, Patricia, because even if you try to explain something like that to a kid from a very normal family, mahirap na eh. Ganun
Mm-mm.
pa na orphan. Kumbaga, the effort is definitely tougher
Mm.
to actually do it. Yeah. Ikaw,
Yes.
Ivana, what were the last things na gagawin mo in the old normal kung alam mo na ganito ang mangyayari sa atin?
For me, Tito Norman, I think I would have been going to church consistently every Sunday. It's something that I've taken for granted because in my profession, I do events hosting. So there are times na I have events on the weekend, and going to church is something that I have taken for granted kasi I could say na next week na lang ako mag-church or something like that. I can watch naman or stream online. But yung fellowship, yung gathering, seeing your friends at church and hearing the message of the Lord na, alam mo yun, personal talaga is something that I really, really miss. And aside from that is yung na I used to take for granted yung mga reunions, high school reunions, college reunions, yung mga ganong gathering. And it just so happened na for some reason this pandemic, I got to be reconnected with my old friends na I don't get to talk to anymore. And parang ngayon, how we wish na sana we have some time to see each other man lang na hindi na Zoom session or hindi lang through group chats, yung you can physically be with them, na hindi na nagpo-phone. Di ba? Usually ganun tayo. If there are gatherings, lagi tayong nagpo-phone sa mga events or sa mga occasions. So, it's something that I honestly took for granted na sana one day magawa ulit nating lahat yun.
Agree rin ako dyan. Kasi kung ako tatanungin nyo, sagutin yung question na yan, makikipag-date ako ng madalas before the old normal. Kasi pwede pang hindi magsuot ng maskara at saka face mask.
True, true.
Eh,
Yes.
ngayon, ang hirap-hirap mag-date na nakamaskara, nakakaloka. Oo. Yes. Joanne, ikaw naman, how will you answer this question?
Well, Tita Norman, if I have known that this will happen for like almost 7 months already, I would travel, Tita Norman. I'm very fond of traveling, and after this year, I set to go to South Korea because it's one of my dream places to go to. But more than that, Tita Norman, actually, part of my Miss Universe Philippines journey because before I had plans to travel and go around Laguna again, go back to each and every city and municipalities here, get to know more again of our products, of our destinations, of everything that we are very proud of. And I was planning to make like a vlog or a series about it, but because this happened, I was not able to do that. But despite that, since things are getting better now, and we are somehow being able to move compared to how it was during the start of the pandemic, I would like to pursue doing that so that I will be able to help the tourism industry of our province to come back again, and be able to cope up with the changes that we are experiencing right now.
Agree din ako dyan, Joanne. Traveling talaga. If alam mo, kaya nga ako personally, I was just so happy that we were able to bring my mom to that country na talagang she
Gusto
needs
niya,
to
di ba?
go to. Gustong-gusto niya talaga. She wanted to go to Prague talaga. And mabuti na lang
Wow!
at nagawa namin yon exactly 1 year before. Not knowing kung ano yung mangyayari sa atin ngayon. Pero since nadala namin siya doon, parang sabi ko, mabuti na lang nagawa natin ito noong
Mm,
2019. Kasi
Correct.
kung 2020 yan, wala, kakansilin. Masasayang yung binayad mong airfare. Masasayang yung
mm,
pag-apply ng visa ngayon, nakakaloka. Ay
True.
nako.
mm.
Anyways,
That
oo, agree ako sa mga sagot niyo dyan. So, now, humanda ka na, Ivana, because we are in the hardest question. Kumbaga, ito yung inaabangan ng mga tao na nasagot niyo because this is my uniform question. Um, Miss Universe Philippines is a job. In your own words, can you come up with the duties and responsibilities that come with this job? Ivana, you will answer
Mhm.
first. In
Okay.
your own
For
words,
me,
ha?
Tito Norm, aside from being the spokesperson or the face of Miss Universe Philippines organization, I think she should be someone who shares the same vision or mission of Miss Universe Philippines. And she should be able to work closely with the partner organizations of Miss World Philippines. At this time of pandemic, ang daming tao na nagki-question na if relevant pa ba ang Miss Universe or the beauty pageants in the Philippines. And I think it really is. It's beauty pageants has been part of our culture as Filipinos. Ako, I'm a pageant fan myself personally. So um at some point, totoo yung sinasabi nila na the beauty pageants in the Philippines bring a different kind of parang breath of fresh air sa ating lahat. Na as cliche as it sounds, yung if someone wins, if someone was crowned as a queen, we all look up to that person and she becomes an inspiration or a hope sa ating lahat. So I think it's still essential for Miss Universe Philippines to crown someone who can embody that. And aside from that, I also think na she should be someone who would be able to kumaga jumpstart an initiative or a project na personally niya gagawin for Miss Universe Philippines, na she would be able to pass it on to the future queens, to the following yung mga future queens na kokoronahan niya sa Miss Universe Philippines, because since this is the first ever Miss Universe Philippines, yung first queen should be someone who would be building a very solid foundation or a legacy na she would be able to pass on sa next generation.
Okay. Paki-print na nga yan, please, at ipapublish na natin yung responsibilities na yan. Okay, Joanne, it's your turn.
Well, for me, Tito Norman, the Miss Universe Philippines winner, main duties and responsibility is not only to represent the phenomenal brand of Miss Universe Philippines, but of the Philippines internationally, that promotes the beauty of our country, as well of our country, of our culture, of our tradition, and most especially the creativity, the talents, and the capacities of the Filipinos. I believe that the Miss Universe Philippines winner should spearhead and support timely and relevant humanitarian and social movements or causes that uplifts the spirit of everyone, that promotes inclusivity and at the same time confidence.
God, kita mo pala nagsasalita si Joanne? Pati yung kilay niya talaga, kumakausap sa atin. Kumaano talaga, oh. Talagang very, very emphatic talaga yung kanyang delivery. Okay.
With my work before,
Oo,
I
ano
did
talaga?
a lot of somehow duties and responsibilities of people, different positions. So, talagang parang, duties and responsibilities. Okay.
Pang ano siya, pang job
Nag-practice siguro ako ng
description.
trabaho ko.
Pang boss,
Oo,
pang boss si
nakakaloka.
Joanne.
Okay, Patricia, how about you? What's your
Mhm.
take on this question?
Ako, Tito Norman, I personally believe and I totally agree with how Miss Universe positioned itself amidst this pandemic, and that is to be a harbinger of hope, a rallying point, and a role model. But at the same time, I believe also that part of her responsibility is to showcase her transformation, or to fully showcase her journey and her full transformation in reaching her full potential by the finals night, so that people could take an inspiration from it, and at the same time be champion for causes that needs awareness and be the voice of the unheard. She must be able to show the universe that she is able to lead movements that can make great impact and greater changes. She works with her mind and at the same time with her heart as well, for herself and for her community.
So are you girls describing yourselves practically with your answers? Oh,
Yes.
you have, di ba? All right. We have come to the part of that episode where I will give you the chance to tell our viewers about the beneficiaries of your ring light, of the ring light series. No? Ako, I've already subscribed to it.
Thank you, Tito
And
Thank
Norman.
you.
ano na ako, manunod ako because I want to watch everything.
We're
So,
Mm.
excited to share it with
oo,
everyone.
may ikot na tayo. So let's start with, sino po yung sino ba yung huling sumagot na nauna? Si ano ba?
Ako
Si
din.
si Joanna last. Okay, Pat,
Yes.
Patricia. Okay,
Okay.
discuss your ring light beneficiary first.
Hi, my ring light beneficiary is Sister Florentina Montemayor, and you've seen the pictures before. She is the directress of the of Children's Home for Eucharistic Love and Kindness. This houses young girls that are orphans and have been abused before. And Tito Norman, just fun fact. When I told Sister Florentina that she's gonna be my beneficiary, she was just really happy. because she's also a pageant fan apparently, and they said
Oh, okay. Mhm.
because they're all girls in the home because the girls have kind of had a pass, so it's required that they're just all girls. So that's the thing that they do on their pastime is to watch beauty pageants, and I know that having Sister Florentina Montemayor as my beneficiary, it is not just Sister Florentina that I'm able to help, but also these young girls that are also, can I just share with everyone, we have been part of the Babae Ako, Kaya Ko Din movement, and Sister Florentina, alongside with her girls, are our beneficiaries and are part of our projects, Babae Ako, Kaya Ko Din movement. So I'm just very, very happy to be sharing this journey with her. So please do support me, and through me, you will be able to support Sister Florentina.
Alam mo, natutuwa ako, Patricia. Nakita ko na yung best angle mo talaga. Ito ang best angle mo. From, dapat yung lens sa'yo nakatingin up. Yan ang talaga, you know,
Okay.
ang ganda-ganda ng ano mo, no? Para ka
Screen
talagang para ka si
honor.
Daniela Mondragon sa kadenang ginto. Yan, tinan mo, oh, ganoon.
Yes.
Okay,
Mananampal na lang si
Ivana.
Patricia dyan namin.
Oo,
Hindi ako gagalaw.
oo. Ivana, your beneficiary.
For me naman, Tito Norman, my beneficiary is Ate Maricris Jordan. She's our kapitbahay. She lives literally across us. And she's a little person. Pero I'm so inspired by her story because I feel like she's the phenomenal woman sa life ng family niya. And yun nga, it's very inspiring because despite her size, she's a mom, she's a wife, and ang dami niyang responsibilities. She works every day. Nagtitinda siya ng tuyo, ng daing, ng mga merienda dito sa community namin. And hindi siya napapagod. As in, grabe yung strive niya para lang mabuhay yung family niya at this time of pandemic. And it's also, yun nga, I was also inspired by her because I was able to compose yung my hashtag Ivanna ang Pinay. That's my official hashtag in my journey in Miss Universe Philippines na I wanna showcase yung iba't ibang klase ng Pinay sa mundo na I personally know that I got inspired by their stories na kahit na may mga problems sila sa life, they're going through something, but the Pinays are very multifaceted, they're very talented. And isa si Ate Marie Chris doon na I'm so inspired by her talaga na kahit ganun yung size niya, 'di ba? Hindi yun naging hindrance for her to achieve her dreams para sa anak niya. She has two kids. Yung isa sa anak niya is also a little person pero sobrang bibo nung bata and sobrang kulit niya. May mga times na naglalaro siya sa tapat ng gate namin and very bibo yung bata and I see so much potential in him. Kaya I hope you guys could help me help Ate Mary Chris and her family by subscribing to the Ring Light series using my code RL Makati. Thank you.
Nagkakaloka, Ivana. Ano ba ang image mo kaya sa neighborhood mo kapag lumalabas ka na sa garahe? Ikaw ba yung tipo, yung senyorita, ayan yung senyorita na sukilala.
Hindi naman dito,
Oo.
Norris. Pero since dito nga ako lumaki ever since, alam mo nila na nag-miss Pembo ko, nag-miss Makati, ganyan. So, very supportive yung mga kapitbahay namin dito kasi they all have seen me grow up na since yung nga bata, ganyan, na naglalaro, ngayon dalaga na. Kaya nakakatuwa yung support ng mga kapitbahay.
Suportado ba yan ng boyfriend mo? Ay,
Wala na dito, Norms!
ayun ang magandang sagot. Wala na. Mas gusto ko yung wala na. Kesa sa wala
Diba?
pa. Kasi,
Kaya I
mas,
loved your caption nung last week
hindi ba?
Perfect. I don't need a
Alam,
man. Yes.
alam mo ako, every time I make captions for you ladies, wala yon. I trust my instinct on that particular day and hour na gagawin ko yon. And I don't know, may sumasanib sa akin na something na parang the photos will speak to me and yun ang lalabas sa akin. Parang ganun ba? Parang pag-ibig ba? Ganyan. Diba? Anyway.
Yes.
Okay,
Senor.
Joanne, about your beneficiary now, Joanne.
For everyone's information, my personal beneficiary is Lizette Alcantara. She is a college student in one of the state universities here in San Pablo City, Laguna. During this pandemic, I would like to help her continue her study and learn effectively. Suzette is one of the three children of a single mom, Tita Susan, who is a former colleague of my mom. And she was actually born with congenital heart disease. But despite her condition, she wanted to pursue education She has always told me that she wanted to be like me, but this time I would like to help her by becoming the person that she really wanted to be and be the phenomenal woman that she could be. So I hope everyone will subscribe and support me in supporting Suzette through subscribing to Ring Light series and using my code RL Laguna.
Alam nyo, ang swerte yung tatlo kasi yung mga RL hashtags nyo are relatively shorter compared to the others. Tignan nyo, RL Pampanga, RL Makati, RL Laguna. O, yung iba, kunyari kung RL, may mga habang hashtag,
Misamis
RL Misamis
Oriental.
Oriental, ang haba-haba noon, hindi ba? O, so
Yeah.
ibig sabihin, at least, pero, well, just the same, alahanin nyo sa Misamis Oriental, may Kumu followers yan, nakakaloka. Diyos
Yes.
ko,
Oo nga, may
nakakaloka ang mga
fans sa
Kumu followers
Kumu.
yan. Yeah. Anyways, eto na tayo. We're in that part of the program na that we'd like to tell the viewers kung what they can expect from the Ring Light series from you girls. Kasi alam ko, these days, super dami ng mga assignments nyo. Alam nyo, every time, pag naglabas na kayo ng mga picture na either may hawak kayong Downy, may hawak kayong Havaianas, may hawak kayong Huawei P40 Pro, P40 Pro, tapos may hawak kayo na Ayumi Eyelash, baka mamaya manibela na ng sasakyan ng hawak-hawak niyo, dinadrive nyo. Now,
Hopefully.
You'll never know,
What-
Tito Norman.
what can the people expect na makita sa inyo sa Ring Light series without giving too much para naman hindi ma-spoil yung suspense about the whole thing. Parang just give them a teaser of sorts about what they can see sa Ring Light. Let's start with you. Nakininang unang ako. Si Patricia unang sumagot sa ano? Ivanna, ikaw. Sige. Ivanna, what can we expect sa Ring Light mo?
Mhm. I think sa old normal pageant setting, di ba? We just see the girls every time they have an event or they have yung mga minor competition. That's the only way now we get to know them. And of course, the coronation night. But this Ring Light series really offers a lot of things sa mga viewers natin because you will see a lot of behind the scenes access and you will be able to really know us on a deeper level kung sino ba talaga kami, why we are here, why do we want the crown, and masarap siya panoorin kasi if you guys are fan of reality shows like ako, yung mga Asia's Next Top Model, ano pa ba, mga PBB, ganyan, it's sort of like that because yun nga, it's really a reality show na you will see and encounter how we are even outside pageantry. So, makikita nyo din how we manage ourselves, how we handle ourselves, yung mga stress namin, even the struggles of preparing for the coronation night in the midst of pandemic. You will all get to witness that na hindi nyo, I think, makikita sa kung nasa normal setting tayo ngayon. So it's really, really it's exciting and I hope you guys can also look out for it.
Ay, na-excite akong lalo kasi baka makita ko na talaga doon yung ex mo, no? Parang may portion of reality. Siya po yung ex ko nung iniwan ko. Ay, gano'n, di ba? Nakakaloka, di ba? Oo, di ba? Joanne, ikaw, ano ang teaser mo para sa mga tao about your ring light?
Our Ring Light series will be our journey or our beautiful transformation since the day we started, since February 14th up to the October 25, which will be the coronation night. So people will get to see every steps of our journey towards there. Those that, like what Ivanna said, you don't normally see in social media or in the events that we attend before for that is related to the pageant. So there's so many things that we really wanted to share to you na talaga makikita nyo the transformation of every candidate from the beginning up to the end, Tita Norman.
Okay. So, ibig sabihin ba niyan, Joanne, mamimigay ka ng buko pie habang nasa ring light series na ganyan?
Yes!
Para at least, souvenir.
Why not?
Magbibigay ng souvenir. Okay, buko pie kayo, Char. O, di ba? Pero dapat yung the best buko pie ang iyong bibigay, ha?
Oh,
Hindi yung
next
buko.
naman, buko kay Ed S. Pasolpa. Because S. Pasolpa
Oh,
is
yun
Yes,
pa.
my favorite.
Tsaka yung ano na rin, pati yung umakyat na rin doon sa puno para kumuha ng buko. Para kumpleto na rin yung mga nagtataga ng mga bunga. Okay. Sige, Patricia, baka naman pasukan mo ko ng mga sisig at longganisa dito. But anyway, how can you tease me with your ring light series?
Well, Tita, normally, di ba, what people mostly see on social media is the finished product na, the crowning or the girls in their gowns and in their swimsuits. But here, subscribing to the Ring Light series, you will see us from day one. And basically, sort of the behind the scenes of how everything goes and how we power through to our way to the crown. That when a woman gets up there and she gets crowned, it doesn't just take her. It takes a lot of, a lot of people, a lot of creative team, a lot of effort, and all those process that we go through, you will see through the Ring Light series. So you will not just see queens here. You will see women in action, actually, basically transforming themselves into their full potential. And you will see all the people that have been working with us. So yes, you will see all that at the Ring Light series.
Ay, alam mo, lalo ako na-excite talaga dyan sa ring light series na yan. Kasi, baka ano kaya ang controversial thing about Patricia and Joanne ang mabalitaan ko? Kasi, kay Ivanna, okay na ako dun sa ex niya, ang maristas dun bigla na parang, I left you because I am here now. Oo.
Oh my
Tapos,
God.
bigla, ano kaya ang mga souvenir na pamimigay ni Patricia? Ano kaya? Bigyan mo sila ng kamaru at saka betute, tigisa. And
Yes.
kumain sila. Tapos i-vlog mo yon, tingnan natin kung kakain sila ng mga exotic Kapampangan delicacies na ganoon talaga.
Great.
Nakakatuwa lang na, yes. Now, I would like to give now the time for each one of you to give your parting words. First, to all your supporters, yung mga sumusuporta sa inyo, pasalamatan din yung mga tao, your glam team, the people, the designers who have been helping you and who will continue to help you in your journey towards the Miss Universe Philippines crown. This is the time to uh, send your thanks to them before we start the Ring Light series next week. So we will start with Joanne for that. Joanne, your parting words.
To everyone who has been supporting me since the beginning of my Miss Universe journey, especially that I am sort of a newbie in the national pageant. Thank you so much. Maraming salamat po sa inyong suporta at tiwala at paniniwala sa akin na deserving akong maging Miss Universe Philippines. To my family, to my mother, to my father, to my siblings, to my titas and titos, you have been my source of strength since the beginning. To my glam team, to my accredited partner, to my handler, Kuya Chico Estiva, thank you so much for believing in me. To Andy, to Joshua, to Cecil, to JP, and to everyone. I will have a very long list here to say, to mention all the people who has been supporting me in this journey. But I know that you know that I am and will always be grateful to all of you. Maraming salamat po. #Laban Laguna.
Nakakaloka, acceptance speech ba to? Parang talagang parang naman ganda talaga na award. Patricia, okay? Your turn.
Thank you for this chance, Tito. Well, I would just like to thank, of course, my glam team and my makeup artist, Mama Ralph, and Miniwining Jeng and Sir Marvin and MJ. But for today's look, thank you, Sir Archie and Mama Ana Tiglao. And thank you to my accredited partner, Chef Roy, and the whole team for being very, very, very supportive of my journey, and Mama Manel. And Tito, I would just like to thank the Armed Forces of the Philippines for the continued support and welcome assistance to our projects in the mountains, and my partners at Project Millennials PH, and also the people behind Lugod Balen for continuing to champion for causes that needs awareness. And also, of course, Doc JP Hernandez for allowing me to share this bright smile, and kanakong kabalen, dakal salamat po king support ang abibiyeyo kanako in journey ko po kay ni Miss Universe Philippines para po kay kayo kabalen. Dakal pong salamat.
Ay, may Kenny Saguli. May Kenny Saguli. Nanong sabihan keka mo, ano ba? Ating ko pong sing-sing, metong yung contestant. Nagkapampangan bigla eh. Ivana, parting words and some message of thanks.
Thank you, Tita Norms. Thank you to all of the Makatizens out there who's watching. Thank you, of course, firstly to my family, my relatives, my friends who are always there to support me. You guys have been my constant ever since. To my team, Ivana, to Jack, Ate Kai, Roy, Gilbert, Mommy Ange, to my AP attorney PY, thank you so much for the never-ending support and always making sure that I have what I need. Na I always get to prepare rather for the coronation night. Thank you for always looking out after me and for my welfare. I owe this to you, and thank you also to my supporters, to my followers, na you guys are the reason why I am continuing this journey. Although there are a lot of times na I was doubting myself and even wanted to back out, but you guys motivated me. Yung mga messages nyo, yung mga encouragements nyo that really boosted my confidence to go on the journey ko in Miss Universe Philippines. And again, to all of the Makatizens out there, thank you so much for your never-ending support, and it's always an honor for me to represent Makati City, to put the name of our city out there in the national pageant scene. And I hope that I will never disappoint you in this coming coronation night. And I owe you guys a lot, and I love you all so much.
Ay, talagang puro acceptance speech sila. Pero alam nyo, in closing, I would just like to say that it's, to be honest, being part of Miss Universe Philippines as a phenomenal woman, it is not for the weak-willed or weak of heart. Totoo yan. Alam mo, totoo yan because the mere fact that all of you ladies were given yung press presentation last February, tapos biglang nagkaroon ng pandemic, na hindi mo alam ano ba, napaka-uncertain ng mga mangyayari. But you still manage to sustain the belief, the strength, yung resilience na, no, this will all improve in time. Pero of course,
Yes.
yung patience nyo talaga, it was tested for a very, very long time. Hanggang ngayon.
That's
Pero
the
dumating na
reason
tayo.
for.
Oo, dumating na tayo sa point wherein somehow, malapit na kayong magkita. Alam mo actually, sa totoo lang, na-excite ako dun sa thought na magkikita-kita na kayong mga ladies again.
Excited
Doon pa lang,
na
doon pa lang sa vision na yon, na-excite na ako, na sabi ko, oh my God, siguro sarap ma-video, unang-unang pagkikita ng lahat, pero hindi ka naman pwedeng sumobrang mag-hug or yung parang may distancing. Pero if you're creative enough, then there's always a way around it. But of course, still trying to keep up with the safety processes na dapat gawin. But saludo ako sa lahat ng Miss Universe Philippines phenomenal women. Like ko na tinatawag na ganun kasi yun na kasi yung branding eh. And I want parang kayo yung maging, kasi nga mag-start na ang Green Light series next week. So, ibig sabihin, that's the time when people, well, I don't want, sabi nga ni Miss Universe Pia words back, the ladies are not being judged. They will be selected. So, ibig sabihin, it's going to be a selection. So, which means that people will be able to view your individual journeys, will be able to see who's deserving, and para everyone will be an armchair judge, so to speak. But at the end of the day, alam niyo ako, paniniwala ko, I've always believed in this line, whoever wins the crown is fated to win the crown. Destiny yun eh. Kasi pag hindi ka talaga naka-destined to win the crown, hindi man mapupunta sa iyo yun eh. Okay, bigyan ko, chika na lang to. For example, kagabi was finals of another competition, yung Century Tuna Super Box. Ang dami-dami nagsasabi na si ganito mananalo, si ganon mananalo. But who would have thought that just hours before the start of the rehearsals and taping for the finals, someone would be test positive for COVID, and lahat ng mga nakausap niya o naka-contact tracing niya would have to be pulled out of the competition. So kumbaga, parang what I'm saying is, sometimes some things happen to facilitate the winning of a person or yung achievement niya or whatever. So para sa akin, whoever wins MUPH, talagang ano yun, nakasulat na sa bituin
The
sa
stars
langit yun.
align.
Yeah.
Oo, mag-align sa iyo talaga yon regardless. So with that, we are no, we would like to thank our three ladies this afternoon. The Kapampangan Patricia Pineda Santos, the Makati Zen Ivanna Kamil Pacis, and the Lagunense Joanne de la Torre Flores. Kasi naman palagi ko binubuo ang
Thank
de
you,
la
Tita
Torre. Joanne
Norm.
de la Torre Flores. Maraming salamat po sa
Thank you, Tita
pagsama nyo sa akin this afternoon. And alam nyo kung pwede ko lang talagang gawin na lahat ng candidates pagsama-samahin. But I would literally kill
Masaya lang sa
myself in
Norman,
the
for sure.
process. My God, walang exposure na enough mangyayari bawat isa pag gano'n. Kaya mabuti na yung ganito na meron kayong substantial na ano. So that will be our episode, our second episode for Pageantry Norms Season 2. And again, I'd like to thank our guests, Patricia, Ivanna, and Joanne. Next week, on our September 27 episode 3, abangan niyo po because we will be featuring naman the reigning winners of Mr. and Miss Chinatown Philippines. And magkakaroon po ako ng konting pasabog for that episode na medyo related sa MUPH. Pero hindi ko muna bibigay sa inyo yung ayoko magbigay ng clue muna kung ano yon. Pero it's something that you can look forward to. Itong exciting part. You can look forward to it during the last 20 minutes of next week's episode. Ay, ganun yan. During the last, my God, during the last 20 minutes, ano yon? Parang may train na magsasalpukan somewhere or ano ba? Kaya na-excite ako. Yon. Kaya abangan nyo na lang po yon. And thank you everyone for joining us this
Thank you,
afternoon.
Tita Norm.
And ingat kayo and have a good dinner tonight and have a good week. Happy Sunday and looking
Happy
forward
Sunday.
talaga na magkita-kita na kayong lahat sa mga phenomenal women for Miss
Yes.
Universe Philippines.
Lapit
Na-excite
na.
ako makita. Na-excite ako makakita na ng mga selfies, group selfies nyo with social distancing pa rin talaga. Nakakatuwa lang. But anyways, that's our show for this afternoon. Stay safe, stay strong, and ingat kayo palagi. Always pray and have everything in control and with positivity in your heart. Thank you so much for joining. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Flying
Bye, everyone.
Wala ako dito nung mga kumo na manika eh. Wala ako nung ganun.